Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and recently I was part of the private internal test of experiencing the full version of Diablo 4. Really excited for that opportunity. Very appreciative of Blizzard for thinking of considering me in doing that. So I was able to play the full game, play through the campaign, and then also keep going after that. And what I'm going to do in this video is no spoilers. Don't worry. You're not gonna have to like skip or click timestamps or anything. I'm not gonna be spoiling any cutscenes or any of the story for you. I'm just gonna talk about what I learned playing through the campaign, how long I think it's going to take most of you, and maybe some of the better classes in terms of being fast while playing through the campaign based on my experience testing and playing through the entire thing. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so what you're seeing is just kind of some background footage that I recorded while I was playing on the Sorcerer, which was the main bulk of my playtime during the testing phase of the Diablo 4 build that I was playing on. And I'll have guides coming out here on the channel going over like fire and coal builds and all of that. So remember to subscribe down below because I'm going to have a lot of Diablo 4 coverage coming your way very soon. But anyway, in terms of playing through the campaign, so there's a couple different ways that you're going to be able to do it. There's the big debate of World Tier 1 versus World Tier 2, which I'm not going to bore you because I already did a dedicated video on that. And the too long didn't watch version is if you want to just kind of like sit back and enjoy the campaign and be a higher level when you finish the campaign, which means you'll be a little bit more ready for your capstone dungeon and trying to get into the World Tier 3 kind of stuff, then go ahead and play it on World Tier 2. It's not going to be that big of a deal. If you want to go just full blaster tier and get to World Tier 3 as fast as possible, finish the campaign as fast as possible, get into some of those end game mechanics as fast as possible, and you think you're a high skilled enough player where it doesn't really matter if you rush through, you can make that ground up on the later end by getting a little bit less XP compared to World Tier 1 versus World Tier 2, then go ahead and blast through it on World Tier 1. I think technically the try-hard blaster decision is going to be play on World Tier 1 and then go straight into World Tier 3 after your capstone dungeon. And as far as time invested that you should expect to get through the campaign, I would say that probably somewhere between the average person is probably going to clear the campaign in like 20 hours. You'll have some people where they blast through it. They're a really experienced type player and they don't watch any cutscenes. They don't care about the story at all. They don't do any side quests. They're just beelining the campaign. Those people are probably going to be able to finish somewhere around like 12 to 16 hours, somewhere in that window. And then if you relax and play on World Tier 2 and challenge yourself and really enjoy the story and the cutscenes, then you can probably expect it to take somewhere around 20 to 30 hours with an average around 25 or so. So that's the experience playing through the campaign in whole while trying to not spoil anything for you. I'm just kind of talking about how long I think it'll take and the world tiers and all of that stuff. So did my perception about Diablo 4 change after being able to test the full version of the game? Honestly, not really. From the beginning, my sentiment, in case you haven't seen, I have said that I'll give Diablo 4 like a 7 out of 10. And my word I would use to describe it is potential. I think the canvas is there. I like the look of it. I like the quality of like the audio and the combat. And the community is obviously very excited, very fervent to dive in and play. So I think it's all there for the taking to have an all-time great RPG game and for Diablo 4 to be a very successful game within the franchise. It's all going to come down to some of the stuff that we really haven't been able to sink our teeth into yet, which is like the end game experience of the seasons. What's the game going to look like 8 months from now, a year and a half from now? How often are the seasons? How cool are the changes and the new mechanics and the balancing? How often do they balance builds and legendaries and add things to the game? How bored do people, how quick do people get bored while doing the end game, and how long does a season last while someone is still having fun? Is it going to be a sugar high where people dive in and play like opening weekend and they get bored within a week? Or are seasons going to have a lot of life to them where people care about playing for 2 or 3 months? These are the questions that we just can't definitively answer quite yet. So all in all, my opinion has stayed mostly the same, which I know is kind of the boring answer, but it's the truth. I was positive before, and I believe there is potential there long term. And that didn't really change. I would say, if anything, I'm a little bit more excited now because I've seen Blizzard be really willing to listen to feedback, be willing to jump in and make changes quickly. They run in, they change the skeletons when people are really giving them a ton of feedback about it. And they've done different things to really show they're going to listen quickly and they're going to move quickly instead of dragging their feet and taking forever on things. So I would say all in all, my grade of Diablo 4 went from probably a 7 out of 10 to like an 8 out of 10. And it's got potential to get all the way there to 9, 9.5 out of 10, as long as some of the things that I talked about, some of those end game mechanics and stuff that we experience within seasons, as long as that gets pulled off well, I think the future is bright for Diablo 4. And then also, I want to talk about the different classes really quick. I know a lot of you are going to be wondering what class you should pick. And first of all, I'll say that you should pick what is going to be fun for you, because the truth is we don't have like a 100% locked in perfect opinion yet. We still have lots of stuff we need to test and learn. But if you want my like first reaction of what I think it's going to be, I think Rogue is going to be the fastest for leveling and finishing the campaign. I think after that, it's going to be like the Sork and the Necro at 2 and 3. And then I think the Barb and the Druid are going to be a little bit clunky when it comes to like early game leveling and stuff like that. But the trade-off, I think Barb and Druid are going to be very solid in the end game, and they're also going to be very good in groups and bring lots of different utilities. So, is the game perfectly god tier balanced with no concerns? No, but for like a first release of the game, I think it's going to be pretty solid from a balance standpoint. But the one standout is going to be that I think Rogue early game, like especially at levels 1 to 50. Is going to be way strong compared to the other classes, and Rogue is also able to crank out some damage late game, but they are decently squishy, so we'll see how it ends up shaking out as we can test more and more things and try more and more group compositions and all that, because we didn't have access for like a month or something. It was only a few days we were able to get in there and play, so it wasn't like we could play 500 hours and really test every single thing we wanted to try out. We didn't get like max level heroes or anything. We had to actually play them and level them, so it was a little bit limited on what we could test, but it was still an amazing opportunity, and I did learn a lot about kind of playing through the campaign and being able to dive into some of the mechanics, which is super exciting. And all in all, I would say my view of Diablo 4 has increased, and it's going to be a lot of fun when the game releases soon here. So that is my story-free analysis of what I kind of think after participating in the embargo version of the full playtest of Diablo 4. And like I've been saying in my videos, if you are looking for anybody to play with, if you want a team or anything like that, we run both competitive teams and casual teams. I've got the link to the Discord down below. You can feel free to join and even DM me, and I will make sure to help you out. And hopefully we can all have fun once the game releases really soon here and have a great launch. Hopefully the queues aren't too crazy and all that sort of stuff, because I think if the game launches smoothly, it's going to be a success. It's going to be a fun preseason for all of us. So my sentiment right now is high, and I am hyped, and I am ready to rock. So that'll do it for me on this one. Remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Diablo 4 content. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you soon in the next video. Peace.